There are places in the world where history does not just exist. It breathes, it echoes, and it refuses to fade. Welcome to Iran, a land where ancient empires once rose to greatness, where poetry shaped civilizations, and where every stone carries the memory of thousands of years. From the timeless ruins of Persepolis to the breathtaking Persian gardens, from sacred mosques to lost desert cities, Iran is home to some of the most extraordinary UNESCO World Heritage Sites on Earth. These are not just landmarks, they are living stories of art, faith, power, and human achievement preserved through centuries of change. Today we step into a journey through Iran's UNESCO treasures, where history meets mystery, and the past still speaks in silence. According to the UN cultural organization UNESCO, Iran is home to more than 20 World Heritage Sites with a highly rich history. Some of these Iranian historical sites, like Persepolis, are among the most significant global cultural heritage sites and date back to the 6th century BC. Iran's cultural sites, included in UNESCO, are a part of the country's enormous wealth, which today has a particular place in the hearts of history. Aficionados everywhere. Number 1. Choqa Zanbil. Choqa Zanbil is the location of the sacred city of the Kingdom of Elam's remains, which are encircled by 3 enormous concentric walls. The city, constructed around 1250 BC, was left incomplete after Ashurbanipal attacked it, as evidenced by the thousands of useless bricks left behind. The Choqa Zanbil ziggurat, the first religious structure in Iran, had a total height of 5 stories and 52 meters, of which only 2.5 levels survived. The priest and the royal family were the only users of the 5th floor, which was the highest floor and home to the Susa unique gods. This edifice was a gift to 2 Elamite gods and was made of burned brick and mud brick. On the temple walls, we can see several bricks with the same inscriptions carved in cuneiform characters, on which we can read the monarch's name and motivation for building the temple. Number 2. Persepolis. The construction of Takht-e Jamshid, also known as Persepolis Pass or Persepolis, a vast complex with palaces, gates, king's mausoleums, reliefs and magnificent stairways, began in 518 BC and took 150 years to complete. This ancient city, which was built on a stone terrace higher than the Mavdasht flatlands during the reigns of Darius I, Xerxes, and Artaxerxes I, was regarded as a stately and ceremonial capital for Achaemenians. One of the greatest works of art and architecture in the history of the ancient world is Achaemenid architecture, also known as the art of unification and invention. The complex's palaces are made up of several significant components, including the entrance stairs, the Gate of All Nations, Apadana Palace, Royal Bar-e-Am Palace, the Tacha Palace, exclusive to the king, the Hadish Palace, the Hall of Tripolion, Triple Gate, the Palace of the 100 Columns, an inadequate gateway, and mausoleums in the eastern section. Here, different coloured limestones are set with no cement and simply with the aid of metal clamps. In addition to paying each employee a monthly salary, Achaemenian engaged a wide variety of individuals in constructing this enormous complex. Alexander burned a large portion of Persepolis when he set it on fire in 321 BC. Number 3. Naqsh-e Jahan Square, Isfahan. The historical square of Naqsh-e Jahan is one of the world's largest, most beautiful and most gorgeous squares. It was built in a park called Naqsh-e Jahan, associated with the Seljuk dynasty, in a rectangular location at Shah Abbas I's request. The second largest square, constructed in the Isfahani architectural style, is this one. calligraphy in Arabic and Farsi. Shah Historical Mosque in the south, Sheikh Lotf Allah Mosque in the east, Ali Kapu Palace in the west, and Kaysari Gate in the north of the plaza are 4 noteworthy architectural landmarks that were all constructed in the same period. The square has served a variety of purposes throughout history, including constructing a royal palace, hosting ceremonies, military parades, ritually punishing criminals, etc., which relates to political implications, having 2 significant mosques on either side, hosting ceremonies and rituals in the square when Imam Mosque was too small for them, and serving as a marketplace. Lastly, we may discuss Naqsh-e Jahan's recreational activities as it has developed into a hub for fireworks, polo, kapunandazi, festivals and public holidays, theatre, puppetry, narration, and acrobatics. Number 4. Takht-e Soleyman. The Takht-e Soleyman archaeological site is located in a valley inside a volcanic mountain range in northwest Iran. The main Zoroastrian shrine, which was partially reconstructed during the Ilkhanid, Mongol period, 13th century, is located at the site, along with an Anahita-dedicated temple from the Sassanian period, 6th and 7th centuries. The location has significant symbolic value. The layout, palace, and fire temple design significantly impacted how Islamic architecture evolved. There are several natural settings here in addition to the historical ruins of the Azargoshtasp fire temple, which are situated inside an oval wall, surrounding a supernatural lake with a depth of 12 meters in the heart of the complex, and 38 towers on the natural rocky plates built from the lake's deposits. The monument looks unusual and lovely due to the massive bricks and intricately cut stones utilized in its creation. Number 5. Bam and its cultural landscape. One of the best Iran UNESCO World Heritage Sites, the main Arg, castle, of Argi-Bam, and the most extensive mud brick complex in the world, is situated in the highest sector of the enormous fort. Yet the name Argi-Bam refers to the whole structure. Bam city and its Arg was one of the oldest military forts built along the Silk Road. Although it was still inhabited as a residential sector as late as the Qajar dynasty, other narrations place the beginnings of this Bam complex in the Achaemenid Empire, or Parthian ages. The primary building materials in this location are palm tree trunks, mud brick, clay, and rare stone. The historic Argi-Bam is made up of a variety of architectural features, such as a ditch, fence, numerous forts and gates, a mosque, a bazaar, a fire temple, an inn, a school, a bathhouse, a prison, a gym, aristocratic or public residential areas, interlining houses, the royal domain, which included soldiers' homes, stables and mills, as well as the homes of army commanders and ruler. The drinking water of Arg inhabitants was supplied from the wells in the yard of their houses. This remarkable complex was severely damaged in the 2003 earthquake and is currently being restored and rebuilt in collaboration with various nations, including Japan, Italy, and France. Number 6. Pasargadae. The Pasargadae complex is an old location with several monuments that are still standing from the first capital of the Achaemenid Empire, 6th century BC, in Iran, which was founded by Cyrus the Great and was situated in the valley of the Polvar River. Its palaces, gardens, and the tomb of Cyrus are excellent representations of the first stage of royal Achaemenid art and architecture, as well as notable specimens of Persian civilization. The mausoleum of Cyrus II, Tawli Takht, a fortified terrace, and a royal ensemble with a gatehouse, audience hall, residential palace, and gardens are three particularly remarkable relics in the 160-hectare complex. A unique example of Iranian civilization, Pasargadae, is a historic complex made of materials like stone, brick, mud brick, and wood that represents the first stage of the thriving and development of architecture, sculpture, painting, and mimicry arts in the Achaemenid era, and is thought to have served as a model for Persepolis. It is regarded as the first empire to value the cultural variety of its many populations. A composite depiction of several cultures, Achaemenid architecture, mirrored this. Number 7. Sultaniye. In the Mongol-founded Ilkhanid dynasty's capital city of Sultaniye, built in 1302-12, the tomb of Ol-Jaitu was built. Sultaniye, located in the province of Zanjan, is a prominent example of Persian architecture's accomplishments and a significant building in the growth of its Islamic architecture. The ground level, first floor, and adjacent compartments have a semi-rectangular floor plan, while the second and third floors have an octagonal floor plan on which the dome is supported in a hemispherical form. 8 minarets have been planned to be positioned on the octagonal building's angles above the third level. The structure had a basement, a torbat khane, 8 entrances, 8 porches, 8 minarets, and a dome. Scholars like A.U. Pope has said that the mausoleum's interior ornamentation is exceptional and that it anticipates the Taj Mahal. The many architectural ornaments of Sultaniye include wall paintings, lattice brickworks, wooden and stone ornamentation, plaster and brick muqarnas, and certain Quranic inscriptions. Number 8. Bisotun. With a continuous archaeological sequence spanning from prehistory to the 20th century AD, the Bisotun, in the list of Iran UNESCO World Heritage Sites, was a well-known location in the history of ancient Iran and Southwest Asia. The Bisotun inscription is the largest, most famous, and oldest known Iranian inscription. It was carved on limestone on the Bisotun hillside, southern hillside of Peror Mountain. The lead layer and traces of a brown glaze in the initial lines of the inscription appear to be remnants of an earlier coating that was applied to boost durability. In addition to its religious significance, Bisotun Mountain is situated along an old trade route that connects western and central Iran with Mesopotamia, making it quite visible to the public at large. The Bisotun inscription, which is written in 3 languages, Akkadian, Elamite, and Ancient Persian, describes Darius I, the Great's triumph over Gaumata, the Median Magus, and rebellions, as well as the restoration of the empire in his own words. The most significant parts of Darius I. The great statements on the Bisotun inscription are as follows: presenting Darius I and the extent of his empire, the story of the Gaumata riot and his murders, the story of suppressing different uprisings in Elam, Babylonia, Medes, Parthia, Persia, Armenia, and Marv lands, highlighting the truth of the record, being Darius free from guilt and crime, asking the inscription to be kept, blessings for the observers, and a curse for the destructors. Number 9. Armenian monastic ensembles of Iran. The Der Sham small village, a few surrounding structures, and the complex of Armenian churches are the components of the cultural interchange between Iranian and Orthodox Byzantine cultures. These churches, which are still in good shape, are situated at the southernmost point of the Armenian cultural region and serve as the focal point for spreading Armenian culture in Iran and Azerbaijan. The first church is Karaklisa, Tad Eus, which is one of the most inventive and elaborately designed among Armenian churches. It is made up of 2 old black portions and 1 modern white section. The St. Thaddeus Church was built atop the St. Thaddeus Mausoleum during the 4th and 6th centuries, and it is well admired by both local Christians and Armenians worldwide. The second most significant Armenian church in Iran, after Kara Klisa, is St. Stepanos. This church, which dates back to the 10th and 12th centuries AD, and is today situated in the middle of mountains in a lush, natural setting, is highly respectful of all religions. Indeed, the church is a part of the Armenian branch of the Gregory Church. The third most well-known church in Iran is called the Chapel of Jordzor, the Chapel of the Holy Mother of God, and it is an Armenian church. Built in 1298 AD, this church has a cross-like design. Due to its Armenian population and unique customs, Dar-e-Sham village has also been included in the list of Iran's Armenian churches. The Holy Dar-e-Sham Church is near the Armenian cemetery. St. Sarkis Church is in the centre of Dar-e-Sham. St. George Church is in the upper Dar-e-Sham, and Shepherd Church is on the route from Yolfa to Dar-e-Sham. There are 8 churches and holy sites in the region. Number 10. Shushtar Historical Hydraulic System. In the neighbourhood of the Shushtar Historical Area, under the Sassanid Empire, was built the Shushtar Hydraulic System, one of the oldest engineering marvels in Iran and the whole globe. In order to make the most use of water power as the engine-driving industrial mills, a complex network of mills, waterfalls, bridges, dams, channels, enormous water transmission tunnels, and Sika, a recreation area, work together. The system delivers Karun water to every area of Shushtar and the nearby cities. All of the waterfall and mill sections were constructed using granite and lime mortar, and the carved stones and river stone walls were used to build the nesting chambers. The Gaga Dam, a Sassanid-era engineering marvel that was entirely hand-dug, serves as the foundation for the Shushtar complex's construction process. The dam elevates the water level by obstructing river flow, which is then used for dewatering 3 rock-cut tunnels. Water is channeled through 3 tunnels, spinning the mill's wheels as it flows into a pool-like region resembling a cascade. As we come to the end of our journey through Iran's UNESCO World Heritage Sites, one truth becomes undeniable. This land is not just a point on the map, but a living museum of human civilization. From the silent deserts shaped by wind and time, to the grand ruins of empires that once ruled the ancient world, from sacred mosques filled with devotion to ingenious hydraulic systems that turned water into life, Iran stands as a bridge between the past and the present. Each site tells a story that words can barely hold, a story of kings and poets, of faith and innovation, of survival and beauty carved into stone across thousands of years. But beyond the architecture and history, there is something deeper, a timeless spirit that refuses to fade. As we leave these places behind, we don't truly say goodbye, because history like this doesn't stay in the past. It stays with us. Iran is not just heritage preserved. It is heritage still breathing, and perhaps that is its greatest UNESCO legacy of all. If you love cinematic travel documentaries, hit subscribe to Rome Vision and turn on the bell, because the next journey might change the way you see the world.